small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Neil Armstrong was born August 5, 1930, and grew up in Ohio. At the age of 6, he flew on an airplane for the first time, and this started his passion for flying. As a kid, he loved to learn about airplanes and space. He earned his pilot's license on his 16th birthday and became a Naval Air Candidate the following year. Fun fact, he got his pilot's license before he got his driver's license.
When Neil was 17, he went to university to study aeronautical engineering, the science used in designing, building, and the testing of aircrafts. When he was in college, he left to serve in the U.S. Navy. He was a Navy pilot during the Korean War. He left school in 1949 for combat training and returned to Purdue in 1955 to complete his schooling. In 1970, he completed his Master of Science degree in aerospace engineering at the University of Southern California.
In between schooling, Armstrong was called to the Korean War. In this battle, he flew 78 combat missions, logging 2,600 hours in flight and 1,100 hours of jet flight. He served a total of 2 years before returning to his studies. While away, he was awarded 3 Air Medals and the Korean Service Medal of Engagement.
When first working for NASA, Armstrong worked for the National Council of Aviation and flew the 400 miles per hour X-15 rocket plane. Later, Armstrong was selected as a member of the New Nine. This was only the second group of astronauts picked by NASA. Armstrong's first mission with NASA was Gemini 8. It was his first mission into space. He was the command pilot of this mission, and he successfully docked 2 orbiting vehicles in space. During this mission, thruster malfunctioned, sending them into an uncontrollable spin, but luckily, Armstrong regained control and made splashdown in the Pacific.
The Apollo 11 mission is really where Neil Armstrong became well known. This mission lasted a total of 200 hours from takeoff to splashdown. It was the first space flight to land people on the moon. Armstrong was the spacecraft commander alongside co-pilots Edwin E. Aldrin, also known as Buzz, and Michael Collins.
Neil Armstrong was the first human to walk on the moon during the Apollo 11 mission. Once Armstrong was on the moon, he walked a total distance of about 60 meters. They stayed on the surface for a total of 2 hours and 36 minutes. While on the moon, him and Buzz collected dust materials from the moon's surface.
On July 20th, 1969, an estimated 650 million people watched in suspense as Armstrong descended a ladder towards the surface of the moon. While on the moon, Armstrong said the famous words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." What we actually don't know is we heard him wrong. He actually said that's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. While on the moon, Armstrong also created footprints which are still there today.
Buzz Aldrin, the lunar module pilot on Apollo 11, wrote in a Reddit AMA that the junior crew member had performed the spacewalk first in previous NASA missions. According to Aldrin, NASA decided Armstrong should walk on the moon first because it was symbolic. The bottom line to why Armstrong got to step on the moon first was the way the spacecraft was shaped. It was easier for Armstrong to get out first.
After Apollo 11, Armstrong received the Medal of Freedom and the Congressional Space Medal of Honor. He later served on the Apollo 13 Accident Investigation Team and the Rogers Commission. The Apollo 13 Accident Investigation Team was meant to be the third landing on the moon, but it failed when the oxygen tank exploded. The Rogers Commission investigated the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster. Later, Armstrong resigned from NASA in 1971. He no longer wanted to be in the public figure. He later taught in the Department of Aerospace Engineering at the University of Cincinnati until 1979. In 2010, Armstrong testified in Congress against President Barack Obama's decision to cancel the Constellation program. The ultimate goal of NASA's Constellation program was a crewed mission landing humans on Mars in the 2030s as a spiritual successor to the Apollo Applications program in the 1960s. Obama sought to encourage private companies to get involved in space exploration and instead move forward with more unmanned space missions. This would cost the United States its leadership in space exploration.
Neil Armstrong died on August 25, 2012. 2 weeks prior, he underwent a heart bypass operation and ended up dying from complications from the surgery. Later, on the 50th anniversary of the moon landing, the New York Times reported that doctors made the questionable decision to immediately perform the bypass surgery. Afterward, when the removal of temporary wires for a pacemaker resulted in internal bleeding, another questionable move was made when they moved Armstrong to a catheterization lab instead of directly into an operating room. These are some of the medals that Neil Armstrong earned during his lifetime.
Some fun facts about Neil Armstrong. After returning from the moon, the Apollo 11 team had to quarantine for 3 weeks because they picked up some strange space virus, and they didn't want to spread and potentially endanger life on Earth. Another fun fact is Neil Armstrong stopped signing autographs when he found out people were selling them on the internet. He didn't like signing them in the first place, and only did it because of NASA's policy, and he had a sense of obligation. He also sued Hallmark in 1995 when they came out with a Christmas ornament with a recording of "The Eagle Has Landed" and a picture of Neil Armstrong standing on the moon. They settled for an unknown amount of money, and it was later donated to Purdue University. He is buried at sea and came out of hiding to promote Chrysler when the automotive industry was struggling.